Boomer. Welcome back to Hall of Fame College Football's No Cap SEC. And we're just going to make this an Oklahoma show tonight because I don't know how anybody else is going to come in but OU folks, and maybe we might steal somebody from Texas just so we can stuff them in a locker again. Welcome back to the show, everybody. Big night for Oklahoma. It was starting to get a bit testy, I would say, as I was watching the JP and Trav show, and everybody in there was freaking right out. Great stuff. Lots of fun. Thank God he chose Oklahoma. It would have been a lot of trash talking. I would have had to stay off Twitter for a while. So I'm excited about this. Tell me how you guys feel. Hey, Timothy, I appreciate this a lot. Appreciate that. Thank you very much for coming in as well. Derek, you were wrong. You were wrong. So he's here currently catching up on the paid live, but I'm here. All right, cool. Welcome in, Kyle, Steve Lees, Derek A. Cox, Timothy Green, Kyle DePuis. Who else we got? Tyler Walker. What's up? Steve B. Robbie Martin, Hankster. Feeling great. That's what I'm talking about, boy. Horns down, throw them down. And Midzu too. Hell yeah. So excited. Famunda, Brian Sandlin, Timothy, JB. Who else we got? Let's see. I miss anybody up? And Bishop Frank. There he is. Coach Bates is him. Guys, for all the people that there's a lot of people that owe Todd Bates an engraved apology right now. I don't think it's a lot of guys that are come into this show, but the Twitter clowns should shut up and go and tell Todd Bates you're sorry. Stink as cat, my boy. And Neilio, what's up? Super relieved, man, myself. Super relieved. Wipe your feet, boys. Thank you, Steve. Gosh, guys, what a day. I tell you, it's been one of those days where you're just like, man, I don't know. I kept thinking, when it started getting around 2-3 o'clock and stuff, you figured, okay, you start getting it. And then you start looking at Twitter and refreshing. I've been watching Hayes Fawcett all day. And I kind of would echo a lot of what I heard Trav and Ty and them, or no, I'm sorry, not Ty, but Jay. And then, of course, JP. And they were saying, you can't really read into anything. Now, for sure, I think that he kind of played into this, and I think he was thinking about it. But one of the things that you got to look at is that I agree with what Jay said. This is his only time that he really got to be kind of, fond over. And I think that they knew what they wanted, but he went on all of his trips. I think it's awesome that he did. Would it surprise you if USC was contacting them? CE, welcome to the show. Mars Jams too. All the money throwing schools bitching about OU selectively throwing the bag. Are they already doing that? Shocker. Big freaking shocker. I love it. If you're here from Twitter, welcome in. Say hello to everybody when you get in. Yes, please wipe your feet. Do all that. It's over. SEC. Yep. I don't really do that chant, but I'm excited. It was really cool, man. But I tell you what, man, it's you start. I mean, I definitely get it. Where everybody was freaking out, I was trying not to get there, but the later it got, and the less you heard, and then you start hearing things like what CE saying USC. There, you started hearing tweets about that. But really, you certainly hadn't heard anything from Dominic Williams. You certainly had not heard anything lately in the last few hours from his handler. And even when he was posting earlier, I mean, he was posting funny stuff, right? But yeah, I think that the biggest thing you got, guys, to be honest with you, it's been a huge month for Oklahoma and their recruiting. yeah, I mean, it's a huge month, and they're not done. The guys that they're bringing into this class, in terms of that secondary, that's it's starting to get full, but the guys that they have on the line for the defensive line as well. I mean, they're liable. I've heard people talking the last couple of days that you might see another 4 or 5 blue chip guys on the D line this year, maybe spread out across rushers, edge rush guys, and all that. But definitely, you're going to see a lot of it. And this is it. Here's the deal. You can come in here in a situation where, and this is probably going to help out a little bit as far as what I want to show you guys here in just a minute, or talk to you about anyway. This is going to be a big deal because of the fact that, look, you are now putting what we talked about it earlier. It was already going to be a very good defensive line. And I know, had this not have gone down tonight, and I mean, even if we're talking about it and he hadn't made the decision yet, which I was expecting to come on here and have to talk you all off of the ledge. But I got to tell you, this is a preview of it. And you got to think, this is just May. If you remember the last couple of years, May has been a big month. June has been a huge month on the recruiting trail, right? It's been a huge month, and it's a huge month around the country. But this is big. This is huge. You're adding to this is basically an add to the 24 class, but this is going to add momentum to their recruiting in the 25. What is the first thing that you heard out of him? That's what I was going to look at. He says, I heard something about genuine in there. Wow. Let me find him. All right, so now I got to show you guys something. This is hilarious. Share screen, and look at Coach V. I freaking love it. Look at Coach V throwing up the Jordan. I freaking love it. Okay, we got a super chat and I didn't even get to it yet. Sorry about that, Robbie. Super chat, he didn't say nothing. Well, let me find the next thing you said then. What do you got for me? Robbie. Say something else. Oh, yeah. The pick gave you hope. I see that. Man, thanks for that super chat. You got something you really want. We're doing good so far, and here was 60. Yeah, man, I kind of want to keep an eye on this Twitter machine, because I bet you they are in full-on cope mode at this point right now. Do you know they are too? Oh man, that's so awesome. So awesome. Let's see. What do you say? Where do I start? The entire process has been a whirlwind. Sooner Nation, I want you to know at the end of the day, I chose you because of relationships with Coach V and Coach Bates and the staff. They were genuine. And I believe in their ability to develop me as a man. He says man first, a player, and prepare me for the next level. I can't wait to get to work with my teammates. You will get the best version and my best effort. I'm blue collar. I love hearing that. I love to compete at the highest level. God bless. And Boomer Sooner.
The brand has finally returned. F*** your brand.
Horns down. I love it. I freaking love it. Guys, we were going to be okay without this guy, but you are absolutely right. It's going to be better with him. I said if they got him, you were going to turn a very good defensive line into an elite defensive line right now. The young guys have time to, they're going to be in the rotation. There's at least 2 of those guys are going to be in the rotation. You figure it's going to be Stone and Jackson probably. Do not count out Nigel Smith. Do not count him out in that rotation as well. But G-Baby, expect a lot from him. I think you expect the guys that we've been talking about the entire spring. Devon Sears, obviously DJ Terry, G-Baby. Look, they're all the way across. Look, both ends look really good. Taylor Wine looked good during the spring. You saw, when you go in and you start talking about what they got out of this, out of the portal, and they got their look. I was talking to Cody Light a little while ago, and he was saying, "Man, are you worried about what's going on with the portal and all this and all that?" And I was like, "No, not at all." And I was like, because the guys that they lost. Not for nothing. Look, you lost General Booty, and hey, man. We all love General. Gavin Freeman. The guys you were losing, they weren't going to be on the field. And that's where we are at this point. So you have to just kind of know that this is where it is. But Bishop Frank, thanks for the gifting. Who got that gift? Let me look and see on the stream. Yeah, they say we can't recruit. Bates is him. He is him. Guys, we've had over 140 people in here. We got 20 likes. Please make sure you hit that like button. Appreciate these super chats, Robbie. Thank you again for that. And who was able to? Okay, Robbie got the gift too. That's awesome. Okay, cool. So you're gonna make sure you jump in there so you can get on our Discord. We'll be in there more after the stream is over tonight as well. Thank you, Bishop Frank, for that. Got another super chat from Stink as Kurt. Sorry, boy. Let's see where we at. All right. I thought it was completely ignorant bringing out a Lambo by Texas. If you're not recruiting with substance, I don't think it's terrible. They're pulling out stops. And to be honest with you, with what Oklahoma did, I think they were genuine, absolutely genuine. And you've heard it. This isn't the first guy that we've been hearing about. All week, in the last few weeks, I've heard it from Gabe and Teddy. I've heard it from the Sooner Scoop guys. I heard it last night on for the short amount of time that I was on OU Insider watching. Right? All these recruits are saying the same thing. These guys are genuine, and they make me feel like I'm a priority to them. And you can't fake that shit with kids, man. You cannot. You're not going to fake these kids out. You're not going to make them think you care when you don't. Okay? It's just not going to happen. They say we can't recruit. Bates is him. Thank you for the super chat. Also, look, guys, this is really great stuff. It's exciting. We got another super chat. Here's to a great show tonight. Thank you, Neil. Neilio, our boy from KC Mo. And it just gets better. Chicken, welcome in, sir. Appreciate you. Let's see who else is in here that I didn't say anything to. Hey, man. Yeah, thank you. And I am happy. It's one of those things that you get excited about it because there's been just so much. I was going to bring it up a little bit more again tonight too and talk and kind of show you some of those advanced metrics of what we're talking about for the entire SEC. They've got, unbelievable opportunities to do this. This is going to increase it. You keep hearing a lot of these guys, and I don't know where I'm at on that, but that he could be worth a win, another win in on the season. That maybe the two of them together for sure are. Maybe that is. And look, the depth is, you've heard it so many times from Coach Venables, how important is depth, the competitive depth. It's guys we lost was a sign how good the team was. Absolutely. They got a few knees they had and stayed the course. Absolutely. Guys, and that's the whole thing. It's Okay, Sooner Legends podcast. Gifted another one. Thank you there, Legend. Mike, let's see. Who did that one go to? Who did it go to? Scott Schrader. Scott Schrader got one from Bishop Frank. So we got another one from Sooner Legends. That goes to Timothy Green. Timothy Green, you are now welcome into our Discord as well. When you guys go onto that page, there is a link that you can go in and become a member of the Discord. So thank you very much for that, guys. That's much appreciated. I appreciate it. Again, it's just it's such a cool deal. I love it that we're getting more members in the channel. Very cool. And Bishop Frank, you always do an awesome thing by doing that for us. I so much appreciate it. Now I'm really excited for the upcoming year. Me too, Legend. Me too. Look, a lot of fun, guys. This is a lot of fun. Again, I think that there's a lot of reasons why you should, as an Oklahoma fan, you should be excited. The expectations have stayed, they have to stay within reason. I'm not saying that this is turning Oklahoma into the national champions. It doesn't hurt things. A lot of the people that, the Texas folks, and look, if you go through and look at their roster, they're still loaded. And I mean, even that stuff that we were talking about with the advanced metrics, look, they've got them going 11-1. That's their ceiling, though, is 11-1 as well. Oklahoma actually has a ceiling of 12-0, according to the metrics there, which is kind of weird. But his numbers haven't always lined up with Texas. But I would tell you why that is. It's an easy thing. It's not that his numbers don't line up. It's that Texas doesn't line up with his numbers. I would say that that's probably a lot to it, right? Yeah, good stuff. Richard Shear, thank you, man. Appreciate it. Good stuff, man. Mm-hmm. Did score 60 plus. And that's the thing. When you start, I'll tell you what, when you start thinking about some of these things, and these guys, they know, the first year that they got, and he was a freshman All-American, so he was on that team too. He's played for a national title. He knows he's been in the trenches, and he knows what it's like to play against an SEC opponent. Now, obviously, they didn't do very well against that SEC opponent in the national title game, but I think the stage was a little big there for them at that point. I think if you could find a way into the tournament this year, you never know what could happen, but it certainly sets you up in a good position. Look, he's here to absolutely. You have to look at it in terms of when you look at Texas and their D-line situation. It's not great. The guy that was on there on Twitter last night kept talking about how great Byron Murphy was. I'm not saying Byron Murphy wasn't really good. He was a first-round draft pick. Okay. But he also had a 350-pound Devontae Sweat, or whatever. I forget how you say his name, but Sweat taking up blocks. That's not what you were really going to have there. Now, they do have some other guys to plug in. They've got Sweat. He's been playing like that already, So, and on top of that, Bo Davis, that was the real concern with me. When they had said earlier that they had bowed out of it, and this was on 3, that they had bowed out of it. Part of me paused because that could be a smoke signal, right? And it sounds like, I don't know that Mizzou ever did either. But the money, I mean, remember we kept talking about that. It may have been, the money wasn't probably going to be a problem. Damn it. I should always read your freaking stuff before I put it on the screen there, Rhyming. Funny, man. The OU floor was just elevated. Man, I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling good. I'm excited. I'm excited, bro. I'm excited for this. I think that we still got to temper expectations. We're going into a tough league, but I think you just got better today. This is a situation where, look, this kid can play. He's done it for 2 years. He was the target for the transfer portal on the defensive line, period. And that includes of when it opened after, in December or whatever, and until January. It was huge deal. Was hoping he came to Missouri, but glad he's in the SEC. Yeah, look. Richard, thank you for coming in. I'm glad that he didn't go to Missouri. I can tell you that much. But look, I think it was a big, and I think it was very telling that the four teams that were in it at the end were all SEC schools. All of them. But I think it probably hurt Texas not having Bo Davis anymore, and not having guys that he knew that he was going to be able to depend on. You look at what this defensive line was going to be at Oklahoma already, from top to bottom. He's going to be able to play. It's a different set of guys that he's going to be playing with. It's not all on him. They're going to work as a unit. They're all going to feed off each other. I can see that happening. Look, year 3 for Brent Venables. What have we talked about so much? Year 3 for Brent Venables. What are you going to do? You're going to step up, and now they know it. All these guys know what they're supposed to do. There's not a ton of things for you to learn as a D tackle, right? Not a ton. You go take up blocks. You go hit the quarterback. You make it hard on them to run the football. He's already done that. And like I said, the guy that was saying that last night, that Texas fan, you could tell they were kind of already pumping out a little copium that they didn't think they were going to get it. But I didn't think they were ever necessarily out of it. But I do think that I remember saying to you guys last week, if he really is going to go on all these things and not make a decision until after he's been on every visit, then I think Oklahoma's got a good chance. Because he was there so long and they spent so much time together, and you keep hearing about how much they kind of wanted to go ahead and pull the trigger then, right? The money we know was going to be there. I don't think that they were not willing to lose this kid to him. I think that they fell in love with the family. PG, you heard him earlier today that his mom loves Oklahoma. It's close for them and where they're from. His brother's going to be in the OU pipeline now. Another star kid. Look. And for them to show him that he was valuable to them, it was important, right? I just think it's huge. Guys. All right. Wonder how many people forgot about Jermaine Lowell. I didn't. I think Jermaine Lowell's going to be great too. That's another big pickup. You got to look when we start looking through at that depth chart. You've got Lowell, and of course, getting Williams is a huge deal. Getting both of those guys, but you already had to figure that DJ Terry is probably the starter. I think they could swap up where they are, but it's you could see Dominic maybe. I don't know. I don't really know what they're going to do. That's a great problem to have, though, deciding who you're going to put out there and when. They're all going to need time on the field. I mean, these big boys, and you go through a couple of car crashes, a series or whatever, you're probably going to need a blow for a minute. So other guys get in there. And so whoever's really kind of getting it going, you'll probably see a lot more of in certain games. I think that that's the good news, is that it's not like being a running back where you got to stay in a rhythm, right? These guys, double team one side, see how that goes. I think it's going to work out very well. This was the place that if you were going to worry, everybody keeps telling us about it, how it's such a line of scrimmage league. Oklahoma's ready. They got the right coach and the right coaching staff to be ready. That's what they did. In order for them to compete, there's no promises that you're going to win a national championship. We don't even know what it's going to look like. A 12-team playoff, there's a lot of things that can happen. But you're going to have a shot. Oklahoma's a blue blood. They were never, ever going to settle for going in and being the, quote, Nebraska of the SEC. That was never going to be okay in Norman. and at OU. Never. Had it not been Brent Venables and whoever didn't get it done, if you don't get it done, you got to get out of here, because they will continue however long until they get back to the top of the mountain. And this is proof of that. But they do have the right team in here. They have the right set of guys. Every one of those recruiters is unbelievable. There's not a hole on that coaching staff that those guys don't just knock it out of the park. If you wanted to call one a weakness because Big Bill doesn't get 5-star guys a lot, okay, do that. But he's got 11 offensive tackles in the National Football League right now. He's been putting guys, he's got back-to-back first rounders again, you know. Orlando Brown, Creed Humphrey, not all of them have been tackles, but he's got 11 tackles in right now. If you're a tackle on the offensive side and you're not thinking Oklahoma, I don't know. Again, I've told you guys I'm not worried about the trenches. I think you're going to go through what you got to go through in the first year, but playing the schedule that they're playing, it should be hard. It's supposed to be hard. That battle tests you. I still think that their floor is 9-3. I could see them absolutely going 11-1. Let me get into some of these deals. As a special tactical task, power line is coming to your town. Unified is one, absolutely. Williams is absolutely legit. Here's the thing, Richard Shear. I like it that you brought this up, because I can use it as an excuse of what this is for Oklahoma. Every one of these kids talks about it. Every one of them. And first thing that happened was David Stone tweeted, "Let's get to work," immediately. They're behind this. You know what these kids want more than anything? To go win a natty. They want to have a defense that Oklahoma hasn't had in probably at minimum 15 years. They haven't had, in the last 10 years, they've struggled to put a serviceable defense out there. It started off pretty good last year. They had some injuries. This depth is what it was about. This secondary depth that they've brought in, linebacker depth that they have now, they have a tremendous amount of secondary depth, and they're getting more. And then they're talking about they could be bringing in as many as 4 wide receivers that are all top 100 guys, or all but one of them is. Where the hell are they going to go? They've already got a bunch in here. You're going to lose Andrell. If you end up seeing what we think we may see out of Deion Burks this year, he may only be here a year. Nick Six, this is what, year 3 for him. If he explodes and takes another step up like he did last year, who's to say? But you have to continue recruiting guys like this. Taylor Tatum hasn't shown, we haven't seen him yet. He's the real deal. The running back room is full. The offensive line is the only question, and the question is because it's new. It's not bad, it's new. And they've added some important pieces there as well. Development is key when it comes to Bill Bedenbaugh. Nothing's out of reach. It already wasn't, man. He's good against the run. His grades, if you go to Pro Football Focus, and I don't know how much I love Pro Football Focus because it lacks context. Because you look at specific areas, it grades them in specific areas. Overall, we know that he was a freshman All-American as a 3-star that nobody knew. He's had success already in a Power 5 program. Now he's going to go get a masterclass from Todd Bates. And he's going to be Schmitty built. He's going to be ready. Stacks, baby. Heck yeah. What did chicken say? Where's chicken? Oh, guys. Never missed a snap at TCU. He's been great. Yep. We needed him, no doubt. Experienced. And yeah, and he plays with an edge, guys. He plays with an edge. Yep. Love it. Love it. I think you could. Look, going back to what we were talking about a little bit earlier, if I was to pull that up again. Oh, shit. Where is it? Oh, man, I can't find it. Where the hell is it? Looking for those advanced metrics again. I've got them somewhere. But I'll tell you another thing. It kind of takes me back to we were looking at those coach rankings the other night. Okay. You're recruiting like this. Rivals already had them at number 4. This won't change that. But they still have an opportunity to land the best safety in the country, the number 1 safety in the country. He's ranked on 247. The composite has him ranked number 10 overall in the country. So he is a 5-star plus guy. That will be, think about it. You've got Peyton Bowen was a 5-star plus guy. Jackson was a 5-star plus guy. Stoney was a 5-star plus guy. And now you have an opportunity to get another one. Don't tell me that in your first 3 years, first 4 recruiting cycles, you could get 4 5-star plus dudes and you aren't one of the best coaches in the country. When you've put out the defenses that you know they're going to put out there. And I mean, this is Oklahoma. You don't just not put out offense either. I mean, it's not okay to not have a good offense. And Jackson Arnold, you've got all kinds of weapons. I just don't know how anybody could even think otherwise of what is about to happen here. Does it push Oklahoma to 10 wins? I think it's a great question. Who do you think's D-line is worse as of right now, Texas or LSU? It's a good question. I know LSU, they both need to still, I think even if they would have gotten Dominic, they needed to continue. LSU early in the day were already heavy going after Barrow, I think, out of Michigan State. This is what you're reading everywhere. That came off of like their site. I think they're probably a shade thinner, but the thing is I don't know how good the guys on the D-line are at Texas in view of the fact that you just didn't see a bunch of them, right? Now, the kid that they got coming in from Arizona, we know he was good. He chased Jackson around in the bowl game. The guy that they were getting, they were supposed to get that guy from UCLA at Texas also. He changed his mind the last minute and stayed and decided to go back, which is kind of surprising. But I tell you, I think that hurt them. There's not a ton of guys left. I'm telling you that I think that overall, I would say that LSU's probably in a better position because they have a coach that's proven. He's already been at LSU before. He's an LSU guy. But this guy put 2 guys in the first 3 rounds of the draft this year off of his defensive line. They're going to do things with the guys at LSU that, I mean, LSU was poorly coached last year. It was a bad scheme of what they were doing. They're not going to have a shortage of guys that can play. And their defensive coordinator was the guy. I mean, Richard, you know as well as I do. The guy, I think that the defense is really why Missouri won the games that they did. They made some plays at opportune times and won some of those other games. But if it hadn't been for that defense, I don't know that you do all of that. You lose a bunch of guys to the draft. You lose your 2 or 3 guys off of your defensive staff. I know they like the new defensive coordinator, but they got a lot of new guys on that side of the ball too. That's going to be hurtful. I'm surprised that they weren't a little heavier in that too, but you heard earlier on in the day that they were out. I don't know how true all that was. JB. Yes. LSU's down bad right now. Yeah, see, I'm not watching. I'm not going to sit and watch what's going on Twitter, but because they'll suck me into something I don't want to be in. Williams said his brother was the one that persuaded him. Yeah. Yes. Danny Okoye is probably going to see Jaden Jackson, Nigel Smith, Grayson Halton, of course, Stone. 11-win season minimum in search of a natty, says Steve Lees. That's pretty. This is high expectations. And you know what? It's fine to have them. It's fine to have them. What I would tell you is let's see how they put it all together. I think that they have an opportunity to turn into, I think they may have just turned into a top 10 defense. I think they may have. If they can stay relatively healthy enough, you're going to lose some guys in the SEC. It's going to happen. You're going to get some guys nicked up. The summer and into the fall, this is an important time for those young guys that you're talking about here. Important time. Look, Danny Okoye is a different cat. A different cat. Just like we've talked about with Jaden Jackson. He's just, you can't teach that big. And that, I mean, the way he uses his hands, I mean, that can be taught, but he's got that fight in him too. Same with Stoney, but I don't think that you can teach the explosion that Danny Okoye has. And I would say the same. Nigel Smith, you guys know, he was my favorite recruit out of that class. And he's been kind of, floating under the radar a little bit. I'll tell you what, another guy that I think is going to show out big this year, Makari Vickers. I think this is Makari Vickers' year to do his thing. He looked really good in the spring game. He likes to play physical. What I'm liking that I'm seeing out of these corners, I think they're all fast, but these guys are all good hands guys. They're tall. They've got some height to them. They're going to be able to go up against some of these big receivers, the big body guys. I'm excited about where they're at. And then you got some freaking headhunters at the linebacker and safety positions that will, and I mean, and even when you start thinking about Deshaun McCullough and Kendall Dobie at Cheetah or playing that will linebacker position, if they're running like a 4-3 set, which you saw a lot of that in the spring game. That was a base set, I think. But I think you're going to see a lot of guys playing positionless football because they're going to go knock people out. Does take a lot of. I think this is big too. I think this is the most slept on Oklahoma team of all time. Like this team better than a lot of teams we had picked top 5 in the past. I don't understand I have never understood that part. Look, all you got to do is do a little bit of research and go back and look at year 3 when under BV at Clemson and at Oklahoma. Barry and Mac show when Barry and Mac were on with K. Chris a month right when spring started up and all this Canic stuff started, right? And when Mackey showed up, he said that when Mackey showed up, he was talking about how the offense carried them in 2000. This was year 2, of course. The offense carried them in the first part of the year, the second half of the year. And if you think back to the 2000 season, I remember it. This is true. The second half of the year, that defense did its thing. And then year 3, I mean, the offense is why they didn't win it again. The defense did its job. Look, I agree with you. Takes a lot of pressure off of Jackson and Stone. Yeah, they don't have to come in and be the unequivocal leaders of that defensive line. you know. But they also, I mean, it's pressure too for the upperclassmen to keep their job, and there's nothing better than competition. But they're gonna, I mean, they all need each other, and that's the thing. And I think they all like working together too. Yeah. Oh, I think so too, man. That's awesome. Yes, sir. Yeah, it doesn't matter who starts. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Looking at Georgia's schedule, maybe. I mean, it kind of depends. I think you're going to run into. There's going to be a couple of teams that. Well, Coop's coming in. We'll ask him what he thinks about this question. But I think that. Yeah, let me get him in here real quick. Welcome into the show from Unfair Sports. Coop. What's up, Coop? Boomer
Hey, what's up, man? Boomer Center. Yeah, I probably sound like hammered crap right now. My allergies mixed with coaching. So
yeah,
my voice was already struggling before practice tonight, and then I forgot my whistle, and so I'm doing the
you were yelling instead of whistling. It's a great idea.
I was going whistle, like from Ted Lasso. So, but yeah, it was a great
coaching girls is like trying to herd cats. Coaching soccer, I've done it. I have done it. It's like trying to herd cats.
Man, my daughter is so. I mean, full disclosure. If nobody knows my background, like I played baseball. I played in college. I was attempting to walk on at OU. Popped my everything in my arm the day before 9/11, and the rest is history. So I've never played a second of soccer. Never played a second of soccer in my life. My daughter all of a sudden is really good at it. So instead of like
my daughter too, and I never
trying to learn.
I had to learn it.
Yeah,
I had to learn it.
Well, no, I mean, listen, like I became over the past 3 years, I became like a really big Arsenal fan. So if anybody wants to have those conversations, we can have those too. But like when you're coaching 5, 6, 7, 8-year-old girls, like you're not coaching soccer, you're coaching this amoeba ball. And so I just taught my daughter how to beat that. And so she's the best one on our team. And we've got a couple girls that are comparable now. So it's fun, but yeah. So anyway, but yeah, man, also, somebody tried to hack my computer, and so this thing's jacking up. So if I just disappear at some point, it's because I'm pretty sure that somebody thinks that I'm richer than I am. So what was the question? What was the question?
Well, the question we just had, but I'll ask you another one first. It's been a long day of watching Twitter and waiting for this thing to happen. I mean, here we are. It's now 9:23. I think it's been about 30 minutes, 35, 40 minutes. Oh, well, we've been on for 50. So no, it's been an hour since he made the choice. But guys, I mean, what was your thoughts? What were you thinking beforehand probably when you got back in the car from practice, you're like, why the hell don't we know anything yet?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. It's every single time I like, all right, water break, I'd run over to my phone and like take a look just to see what's happened because, I'll say that I was pretty close to this thing. This was one that like I try to keep quiet as quiet could be. And, man, I promise you this, I've never talked more to like big time Missouri, big time Texas, big time LSU people than like boosters and stuff like that. And people who know in the program as I did with this one. And, I mean, this is, at defensive line, you roll out, the best defensive lineman to hit the portal. I think technically, I guess the most productive one. Oh, there he is. Probably the most productive defensive lineman in the portal since. It's terrible. It's but best defensive lineman since the portals came around. I mean, can you think of a better defensive tackle that went into the portal? A more productive, not like potential, but like
potential wise, there's probably been other guys like Bear Alexander, something like that. But as far as like production's concerned, I don't think I don't think so.
It's
Dave,
I mean,
what do you think? I mean, I think there's other guys that are out there, but I don't, aside from maybe Bear Alexander, I don't think that you have, and you don't know with Bear, he hasn't lived up to that yet. No. So, but having a guy that's been productive, played in the national title game also, and was a freshman All-American. He's got, I was saying something earlier in the show that I did this morning that you talk about Byron Murphy. He had 70 something tackles in 3 seasons. He's got like 10 less in 2. Right? I mean,
listen, Jay and I have probably, I'm going to speak for you on this one. The amount of chaff that was being out there, that people were putting out there, was just, I mean, I feel like Jay and I were on this pretty tight the entire time, like from him still being on campus to going through this whole deal. And man, I've had conversations with a lot of guys who've put in hard work. Like, man, shout out to George Stoya over at Sooner Scoop. I mean, that guy is a freak of nature. Like I just bow down to George.
George has done a great job throughout, and I would say the same with Josh McQuiston. I like him as well. But George is he's a real reporter. He knows how to ask the right question. Yeah. And there's no show there. He's not trying to show you anything. He's just going out there and digging up the stuff.
Yeah. And
he does a very good. I was a journalist. I've been a journalist myself for 20 freaking years. I know what it takes. That kid is a good reporter already. You can tell he is. He's very talented. Very talented.
And he was at Denver and before this, and they went and pulled him from Denver. And so being a Denver Broncos fan, and he's from Tulsa, so we have a lot of stuff in common. But yeah, I mean, he's slowly been writing, the editorials and being there for the practice reports and everything. But this one was him, just like, this was his coming out party to like let everybody know that he's good at his job.
Yeah, he is. And all that stuff between, him and the other boys. I mean, it's funny, but it's, coming from outside of it. But I know what he was doing. I mean, he's having to fight his way into that and, doing what he's trying to do. But he's done a great job. I've certainly, you've gotten a lot more information out of George Stoya and Josh McQuiston over the last couple of weeks on this front than you got out of the other guys. And we don't have to say names or anything like that, but I think it's just a fact. It's just a fact.
And I'll say this is, say what you will about the Williams Nwaneri stuff. Like, he went with his gut. I think that when he's like, it's a done deal, he's signing with Texas right now. I mean, Jay, was it within 30 seconds we knew that was false?
Yep.
And so I was really confused. I was like, I mean, we've got connections, but it was so far off. I was like, are we dead wrong? And I was like, because he's not there.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a voice left there, Jay? I mean, you were up.
I'm good, man. I was losing my mind. I was losing my mind. But yeah, no, I'm good, man. I got my beverage in. I coated everything. Finished up my bourbon. I'm feeling good, man. It was what we needed, right? The level of excitement that, I mean, it's just the fact that we were able to get this dude.
Yeah, and I mean, we know because we're close to it. The progress of this defense was visible this year.
Yeah.
If he does not
the numbers don't do it justice as to what they were. There were some games that it kind of, they gave up a play here or there and it looked a little different than what it really was. But yeah, I agree with you. I think that but it's hard to explain that to anybody else. And you've continued to get, that's what I was saying, is the disrespect, I mean, it's downright slanderous the way people have been talking about Oklahoma. And I know people are like, well, when you have expectations, they don't do good. Bullshit. And they're still going to hate. They're still going to hate anyway.
Oh, yeah, haters going to hate regardless. No matter what you do.
They're hating.
It's never good enough.
They've been hating.
You already got people hating as we speak on us, so there's nothing you can do about that. All you can do is go out there and show results, and I think we will. It's funny. I was actually. The bad part is those that do watch the videos. The end of the video, the next video that's gonna come out tomorrow. Dominic hadn't committed yet. I recorded it. Was gonna put it out tonight. YouTube had a problem to where you couldn't upload. It wasn't letting you process, so it had been sitting for about an hour before I even went on with JP and Trav. And so it's gonna go tomorrow. I'm not gonna edit it. It's gonna go. That video will populate tomorrow. But anyway,
okay.
I was talking about Dominic, not committing, but I was talking mainly about the portal, and this is kind of a preview for y'all before that video drops. If you recognize in this portal cycle, we only lost players that weren't going to play. Like, we didn't lose critical infrastructure.
No, we didn't.
We lost maybe some backup plans. Maybe a couple of backup batteries is what we lost. I mean, those are important for, your everyday, working of your buildings and all of that. Maybe a backup generator. But we didn't lose critical infrastructure in the portal. Not too many teams can say that, right? We didn't lose dudes that were actually going to start next season. That was, Texas lost most of the secondary so far. We ain't lose critical infrastructure like that. That's telling. Because a lot of people, we probably should have lost more people. And I think it's a testament of this staff and the players trusting them and what they're doing and saying, we're going to follow you and what you're doing today. We believe in you. We believe in the staff. We're going to at least see this through the first year in the SEC. December, I could totally see some portaling. But as of right now, players are like, no, we want to see what it looks like in the SEC, which is hype.
Yeah. Well, I'm with you, man. And the thing is that you've had all this stuff, and it's a lot of people saying, and I jumped on right before I came on here. I just wanted to see what you guys, because I wasn't finding anything. I hadn't seen anything coming from Hayes.
So Hayes jumped on with us with JP and Trav, right?
I know y'all had asked, but it was like
he ended up jumping on, and he ended up giving us a little bit of context.
Trying to put out the fires, and I was like, "Son of a bitch! I don't even want to go live right now. I'm gonna have to."
Right.
I was like,
well. So Hayes jumped on, and he kind of gave us a little insight. So he had been sitting on that graphic since like this afternoon. Like the anticipation was around lunchtime that there was going to be a commitment or something. But granted, he also told us
trying to.
The only thing he told us though, he did tell us that there was 2 graphics made, but he won't tell us who. He said to protect the innocent. He didn't give us who, but he did say that he was sitting on 2, but he did have the Oklahoma graphic since like lunch.
We need to hack into his computer and find
out what it was. Right. Now hopefully he'll be able to tell. He may be able to slide us in on the background, but yeah, he was sitting on that bad boy though, which is crazy though. I was like, man, how long did you have? He's like, man, I had it most of the day. He was just waiting, and boom. So yeah, the anticipation was it was going to happen today. It was just he needed to go through the process. So yeah.
Yeah, they just became rabid junkyard dogs on the D line. Sooner Legend podcast says we're winning 10 games. Urban Engine says Timothy Green. Jason, what's your opinion on why this young man left TCU for Oklahoma? I think the SEC comes calling.
Yes.
I think the SEC comes calling. He almost went into the portal last year after the national title run. When they didn't back it up with even a bowl game, you kind of had to see this coming. And I think, I don't think it was an easy thing for him to do because he didn't just up and leave right after the season was over, and he had plenty of time to do that. He took his time. it stands to reason how he took his time so much in this process, right?
Right. No.
So
to add to that, I believe that for him, it was being developed for the league. Now, this isn't any shade to TCU, because shout out to Jamarcus McFarland, former Oklahoma Sooner defensive lineman, who is the defensive line coach at TCU. He found Dominic. He's the one that's developed Dominic into what Dominic is today. Former Sooner. We shout him out because he's a former Sooner. But I sense what happened was the allure of playing in the SEC got his attention, and he was like, I think I want to go play there and see if that gets me into the draft. Now, granted, keeping it a buck, he could have stayed at TCU and went pro. I think he's got the talent to do that, but I think we up his draft rounds, especially with the toughness of our schedule. If he can prove himself against guys that he will probably go up against in the league, that speaks its own weight.
I agree, because I think if you saw anything, you saw the way that they kind of got ran through in the national title game against Georgia, which Georgia's different than everybody else, but where they did very well. They held their own against Michigan. I would say they shouldn't have probably won that game either, but I think that Michigan was not what we saw this year as far as toughness was concerned in the first couple of trips to the playoff, right? But I think that what he wasn't able to show was because they just, I mean, it was what, 63 or 7 or whatever it was. They lost by 60. More or less.
I mean, he's a one man. I mean, he can't do everything by himself, right? Like, he's gonna stuff the middle. And the other thing too is funny because Trav was talking about this. You know, after the commitment went down, was Dominic was running. He was in a 3-3-5, right? So he's the only dude there's stuffing everything. His job is to eat blocks, and then everybody else is supposed to do the work from there. It's kind of hard, which his numbers showed up because he was that talented, but.
Correct.
It wasn't nobody else doing nothing to help him. He was doing his job. Where was everybody else?
Yeah, and he's 6'3", 320?
320. Yeah, 6'2", 320. So yeah, roughly around there. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a big boy. He's a smidge bigger than that too. And he
hasn't even been in with Smitty yet. He's gonna get bigger. Good luck. Here we go. You know.
And so I think a very big piece of this too is I really wanted, I've already asked him on, to the show, but
Sweet.
I want to find out, okay, what, did you want to go somewhere and just be the guy again? So he's going to LSU. They need him. Texas, they need him.
Sure, they do.
Here,
let me just say this. People kept trying to compare him to Byron Murphy yesterday, and I was like, why are you doing that? Byron had a 350-pounder taking up blocks for him.
He had a stuffer. Yeah, he had a block stuffer, right.
So I think that has a lot to do with this too. I want you to finish what you were saying, but I believe I'm right there with you on it, because I think that when you have an opportunity that you've got dudes around you and you're going to, play off of each other, and, the things are going to be really good here. Somebody doesn't double team him, somebody else gets off. They double team that guy, he gets off. This is a situation where he wasn't going to have that at LSU or Missouri or Texas.
No. And that's the thing is he now gets to go, and this is going to be a year to where a lot of people are going to be like, oh, we weren't paying attention to the pieces, and now they're all okay. And they're going to start realizing this. He's going to be part of that story, and he doesn't have to play 400 snaps. He can get 300 snaps in, and you can go switching in and out between him, DeJoun Terry, Grayson Halton, and then Jaden Jackson is probably still going to switch back and forth, depending on the matchup. We may see a completely different defense against Tennessee than we see up to that point.
Richard, you lost. How many guys did you lose? How many guys went to the draft? You had 7, 8, 9 guys that went to the draft? And a bulk of them were off that defense. I understand that we want to trust and believe in the new defensive. As somebody, when you switch defensive guys, if they're even a little different, there's an adjustment. And these guys are, we're in year 3. This is the year that you expect a step forward from the guys that were already there. I think that without this guy, they were going to have an opportunity to be a top 10 defense still. I think they became elite today.
Yes.
I do. I think they became elite today.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think we're at that point now.
So Kyle says something, and I was thinking this earlier today. Who's your 4 starters as of today? If you start 2 ends, 2 inside, who's your 4?
Inside, I'm going with Dominic and Terry in the middle. They're your 2 stuffers in the middle today. Yeah. Edge, I'm probably going strong side. Weak side, I'm probably going Downs. Strong side, I'm probably strong side, I'm going Caden Woolard. Weak side, I'm rotating. I'm rotating between Downs, PJ, and R. Mason Thomas. I'm swapping out between those 3, but I'm probably going to start Downs just because Downs has the experience. I think Woolard's definitely going to play on the strong side.
Ethan, for as much as we've kind of poked around at Ethan for the last couple of years, he's gotten bigger and better every time you see him. He looks better.
Yeah. So here's my point.
And he's taking on a leadership role.
Yes, exactly. Here's my point is, if you start, I had put PJ, Terry, Dom, and Woolard. That's who I had. So if you go with the next 4 in, and let's say it's R. Mason, Jaden Jackson, Lole or Stone, and then Ethan Downs, that's still the best damn defensive line we've had
ever. Or in a while anyway.
I mean,
yeah.
Since
you had Gerald McCoy and
hold on a second. Since 2020, because when it was Perkins, Benito, Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah, I don't want to hate on those guys. You're right.
Yeah, so those guys now, they also were fresh since they had been suspended the first half of the season. But that's neither here nor there. And Isaiah Coe. So that was a good defensive line. But I still think I'd take a healthy R. Mason Thomas, JJ, Stone, and Downs, and you could switch in. Hell, you could switch in. Like I said, Lole, or you could throw in G Baby. You could throw in several different other guys there too.
Well, G Baby finally got his weight up. You heard Teddy. He's been screaming about it. Get your freaking put the weight on. Do it. How many guys now are over 300 pounds? Defensive wise, it sounds like I think we've got at least 4 or 5 on the defense that are over 300.
You got Terry, Stone, Jackson, Williams. Halton is a biscuit away. I think he was like 298 last
He's 290.
Is he 290?
He's about 290. He's about 290. I'll say safely 290, but I will agree with you. I think he's just under, because I know BV said that Sears and Halton was right there at 300.
Sears is the other one I was thinking about too. You guys, that's pretty good, but you don't have to have all these guys be 325 if you've got 8 of them.
We have 5 dudes at 300 pounds. We have 5 guys at 300 pounds, which puts us within the top 3 of the SEC now. We started the SEC at the bottom because we only had 1 dude. Now we're up in the top 5 because I think Georgia has 6 and they're the highest. Let me find that stat real quick for y'all. Be right back.
And when you have that, you have more guys that are in. Oh, I've got those metrics here. I don't have that on it though.
Yeah, somebody had actually listed out the number of 300-pound defensive linemen in the SEC.
Oh, wow.
And I'm going to see if I can find that real quick. That was a pretty interesting
stat. As far as returning production, I can give you that, though.
Now, returning production, we're number 1.
Yes.
And that's going to actually just go up because we just added him.
And this is what I'm saying, that it goes up because you got another guy that played a lot of downs, right? Most of them anyway. And then Georgia was not. I think they were more at the other end of that. But the thing with Georgia is these are a bunch of guys that they've got the best talent roster in the country.
Yeah.
It is what it is. They live on defense. So you know they're going to go get after it. They are. This is the thing is that to me, I'm still wondering why everybody's expecting Texas to go 11-1, 12-0 because I don't understand it.
That's not happening.
You can't lose 11 guys
funny?
in the draft. 11 starters. Those offensive guys, Quinn doesn't even know them.
What cracks me up is people saying that, and somebody put out a statistic like right after the draft. Teams that have lost double-digit players to the NFL draft usually loses about like 5 or 6 games. Yeah. They have a bad major fall off right after the next year. So the expectation is Michigan and Texas to suck. Same thing in Washington. Nobody's recovered. Nobody's ever recovered. I think only 2 teams actually in the last 24 years have had decent years the year after. And I think it's Alabama and Alabama.
Yeah.
LSU fell off the face of the map world. It fell off the map. Only thing that helps Texas is that they still got their quarterback and their offensive line. But yeah, I don't expect them to be as great.
This is a shot more than this is a compliment. The OU brain trust coach says.
Yeah. So I just want to point out, like, I'm not at all scared of Tennessee's offense. So
hold on, I got to do this for new membership.
Do it.
Thanks for becoming a new member there, Brian. We appreciate you. Thank you very much. Make sure you wipe your feet, everybody. Go ahead.
So anyway, Tennessee, they got a brand new quarterback. He's going to face, Nico is going to be a good quarterback, I believe. But this is now what he's going to face in probably their first SEC game on the road in Norman. You're telling me that, like, Tennessee's coming here, our first SEC game. You think that's going to be a rowdy place? That defense is going to eat. And then you got Auburn, still not too concerned about Auburn's offense ever. Texas, like you said, it's middle. They've got 6 games to find out who's on their team, but everybody's different. All that production on, and then also, if Quinn struggles at all, then guess what? That's what's going to start happening. And he may struggle, and it may not be his fault.
Yeah.
Look, Coach and I were on here the other night, and he was saying, that one of the things that I wanted to bring up again is what you read from his tweet, and it's the same thing you're hearing from everybody who talks to one of these recruits. There's 2 words that they use: genuine and priority. Genuine and priority. This is relationship building recruiting. The money, you have to play the money game. That's not a question. You're going to pay. You're going to have to pay. We know that. And I'm sure everybody's in there talking a bunch of shit about Oklahoma overpaying or whatever. I'm sure of that. And we're going to hear it from here on out. Oklahoma has not been that.
It's that crap. That's why we won right there. Because they took him to Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah, I'm sure of it. There you go.
It was.
Yeah, How Do You Like Me Now? That's running through my head too. That'd be the right song to have on. Exactly. But here, it's not a money thing. I don't care what it. Look, the schools that are winning national titles in this era right now, or competing for them, they're not the schools that are just recruiting based on that bag.
Yeah.
If you're having that conversation early on with Brent Venables and his staff, you're not going to be an Oklahoma Sooner. It doesn't matter what your grade is, what you grade out and what you are. It has to be about more than that. If they don't see that, they don't offer you. The thing that I remember him saying And this was after the season or after the portal closed the first time around. And they were talking about, well, you didn't get this or you didn't get that. And he said, we didn't offer this or that. We are intentional with what we do. There's another word, the word intentional. You've got genuine, intentional, and priority. This is not just about money. It's not about money, guys. The money has to be there.
Did you read it? Did you see his post?
Yep.
I loved it.
Yeah.
It broke the details down of why he picked Oklahoma, man. It's just...
Yeah, he said the word genuine. He said the word genuine. It was in the first sentence.
My man, he understood the assignment and was just sold on it, baby.
Yeah.
Listen, the amount of, I think we're out now. We're back. I think we're out. I know we're back in from Texas, from LSU, and from Missouri. Like, it's like, come on.
You know what?
Everybody wanted that guy. Every single program in the country wanted that guy. Nobody was like, no, we don't need an all-conference defensive tackle with 2 years eligibility left. Yeah. We don't need that.
Well, shout out to Trap House Boomin. When he talked to People's dad, he had this on his show that he was like, why is he coming? The room is full. Why is he coming? He said, we're in love with that staff. We are in love with the culture.
I mean, we done something, man. We did something special here.
You know, soul mission means something. There's more to it. There's more to it than just talking shit and you know, dumping a bag in their lap. There's more to it. Again, I'm not saying that they're not paying the guys, because you got to do that too. But if there's a reason why the guys that you have watched walk out the door have not been starters. They have not figured in to be on the field much. Name one that would have been. Maybe Harrington if he gets healthy enough quick, but I don't know that he would have made it back on the field much. I think that he could see the writing. To me, Josiah Wagner, he was in the portal for 72 hours?
Right, at most.
That was set up before he left it and got in it. They were pushing him out and maybe they weren't, but I think they kind of had to. Yeah.
Listen, Jason, OU, I believe, whatever the more, I guess, innocent version of tampering is, they did it. They played the NIL game and they won it. Yeah. And I promise you, they are processing kids. And they're getting processed. Whatever you want to call it, General Booty. Yeah. I mean, I
love General. I love General, man. And I like, look, Josiah was one of my favorites from the day. I mean, I saw him at the All-American game as a high school kid. I liked him, right? But he's also a little dude, and they're recruiting big corners.
Yeah. 6 foot plus guys
that have great ball skills. And I'm not saying that Josiah didn't have great ball skills, but when you got to go up against a 6'5" receiver at Ole Miss or Alabama or Georgia, what are you going to do with that? You got to have some guys with some length and speed and physicality, which we know that Josiah had that. But once he started getting nicked up, he had to probably go. Same with Justin. He's got a year left to put some film up so that he can try to see, you know, if he can get in the league. He had to do it. None of these guys were figuring into the equation very much, and they left on. And so we're talking about right now, how many portal gets do we have? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that right?
Yeah, Hickman.
The corner out of San Diego State.
So you got Des Malone, you got Fabici Wewu on the line, you got Branson Hickman on the line, you got Dominic Williams, Jermaine Lole, Des Malone,
Malaska,
Sam Franklin,
Malaska,
and then Jocelyn Malaska, Josie Malaska. See, Joe Velasquez, that's 7. That's 8. That's 8. Right?
That's 8.
That's it.
Okay, so
Let me
those
go
are
verify real quick.
Oh, no. Brown.
Are
Oh, yeah, Spencer
Tackle.
Brown, Michael
Spencer
Tarkin.
Brown.
So you got 10.
Michael
You got about
Tarkin.
10 dudes.
okay, so 10, and
Garrett
then
Hatch.
they lost.
11.
Hatchet.
Garen Hatchett.
Okay,
Let me go look. Let me go get the exact number.
so but you lost. Okay, so you picked up 11, but you lost. You lost between the first go around. You lost Davis Bevel, and now you've lost General. Okay,
I mean, Ian,
But-
1, 2, 3, 4,
We lost
5, 6,
Caden
7,
Green.
8, 9,
Caden Green.
10, 11, 12.
That's the only
13,
one that
14,
has
15.
effect.
16 transfers came in.
okay.
Dominic, as well as Lole, Hickman, Hatchett, Casey Thompson, Jake Roberts,
Casey.
Michael Tarkin, Caden Woolard, Tyler Keltner, who's the kicker that everybody forgot about,
Wow.
Joe Malaska, Bauer Sharp, Sam Franklin, Deion Burks, Des
Deion
Malone,
Burks.
Spencer Brown, and Fabici Wewu. That's your ins. Your outs are Justin Harrington, DJ Graham, Blake Smith, Davis Bevel, Hollywood Smothers, Marcus Major, Aaron Parks, Day McCullough, LV Buckley Shelton, Tywee Walker, Kelvin Gilliam, Savion Bird, Caden Green, Nate Anderson, Key Lawrence, Dylan Gabriel, Marcus Hicks, General Booty, Gavin Freeman, Josiah Wagner. That's 20 so far. Shane Witter, Jacob Switzer, Connor Neer, Gavin Marshall, Reddy Mustafara, Jason Llewellyn, and Reggie Grimes. There's 27 players that left.
Okay, and how many entries just off the top of your head? Did we
Injuries?
No, entries. How many did we bring in to
17.
17.
Okay.
We left 10
Out of
spots.
those, if you're talking about 27, Dylan Gabriel would have been probably a starter. There's one. Caden Green was going to be a starter. He was going to be a starter.
Savion, maybe.
Nope.
I don't think he was. He was lost all
I think
the
that's
time.
why. I think that's why he left, because he was not going to get an opportunity to start. Josiah Wagner, when healthy, he was a starter, because he was actually fighting for a starting spot last year.
I think that Macari has passed him, and I think that Jacoby was passing him too.
Yeah,
I can see that. I'll put it this way. I agree with you there. Josiah picked up everything before everybody. His problem is he couldn't stay healthy.
That's right.
Yeah.
And
So he ended up falling behind because of health. So yeah.
Look, and those other two guys are over 6 foot tall, also stronger, faster, more. I mean, look,
listen.
I think that Josiah is a great athlete. I'm not hating on the kid, not even a little bit, guys.
Now, the 27 that I just named, I still haven't mentioned probably about 10 walk-ons that did also hit the portal.
Okay, yeah. Well,
but I'll put it to you this way. This is kind of what I've been telling everybody when it comes to thinking about the numbers. Don't think 85 anymore. 85 no longer counts as a number for us to actually pay attention to. It's 120.
It's 120
because the 85 scholarships, but you can only have 120 players on the roster. That's the number that we're playing with, right? We don't know who's on PWO plus. Right. We don't know who's on PWO plus or not. We don't know who's got what. So the best for us is to recognize 120. And so at this point, losing 27 plus probably additional 10, probably 30, at least 35 to 37 people, bringing in 17, we're probably good and under that 120 number. And we may have an opportunity to bring in one or two more people.
Yeah. Well, they're probably still looking for a tackle, right? An offensive tackle.
In the right situation. And
I don't think it can be a guy that's a depth guy. It'd
be a grad transfer. It'll be someone in the summer if we do it.
Be a plug and play if they can get him, right?
Yep.
I don't know that you got that necessarily, but
Vandermark would be the only one that I think that we do anything. And as of right now, OU hasn't done much.
And I hear that we probably won't.
Michigan State? No.
What?
Wait, where's Vandermark from? He just came from
Michigan State.
He was the one that was about to commit, and then he decided to go back.
But now he's back in the portal. Right.
Yep.
Jonathan Smith on that top 25 coaches list, and he can't keep a freaking roster.
Bro, they're going to be a 7-on-7
Got a
team.
losing roster. Got a losing record as a head coach. He's on the list. BV's not. Get out of here with that shit. killing me. These guys are elite recruiters from every freaking coaching position. Which one of them can't recruit? They're all elite recruiters.
I mean, the only one that you can make an argument for is Zach Alley, but he's been here for 11 minutes. So
right.
He has, but no, you're right, because we keep on saying it, like Emma Jones, you are getting a raise. All right, now Brandon Hall, you're getting a raise. Jay Bly, now you're getting a raise. Beanbo, if he strikes out this cycle, well, it's going to be a while before he can earn it back.
Brother.
But listen, here, I'll just say this is before you say anything, like, I think that we're going to get the man, I can't say his name when my voice is good. The tackle from out of Hawaii and Utah.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, yeah, we got him, the center. The kid shit. Let me find it. I got it right here.
No, he was in during the spring game. Somebody in the chat has to help me out here.
Is he gone?
He's got like a V. He's got V's in his name. He's from, like, I want to say
he's the Utah center,
right? Is he a center?
Yeah, he is. Who was his
offensive lineman?
Yeah,
offensive lineman for sure.
From Utah.
Yeah, I've got it
here. I believe it's Utah.
Yeah, it is Utah.
I don't know anybody from Utah on the offensive line.
I don't know that I've never heard anything about him after they said that he committed.
Hold on a second.
Offensive lineman?
Yes.
I'm looking at the offensive line now. I don't see nobody from Utah.
Yes, right here. Jocelyn, Alaska.
No.
Oh,
that's a corner.
Not him.
He's not
Alaska's your corner.
He's not on our team.
He never
Are you talking about Danny Saili?
No. He's a 25 guy.
How's he a 25 guy?
Hold on.
It's
not a transfer. I'm saying that Bill Beanbo.
Oh, a recruit. Okay,
yes. Okay. Because we're talking about everybody recruiting at a high capacity, but I think Beanbo may strike out on the big names like Fasusi, Haywood, and Rogers. But
I don't think
we're going to
strike out on all of them. He's going to get one of them. And Ryan Foji is already a top 100 guy.
And that's it. I'm saying Foji is going to end up being a top 50 guy. And then the kid from Utah, it's a high 4-star. Avalava.
Yeah, Avalava.
Yeah.
And his brother just hit the portal, or cousin hit the portal recently too.
Yeah, so he's going to be a borderline 5-star guy too. So Bill Beanbo could go over on those 3 and still back into this. And then
I meant Tory Blaylock. Go ahead. Yeah. But they're all elite. Look at these guys. Elijah Thomas, top 150.
Oh, yeah.
Tory Blaylock, that's who I was talking about. Now, I don't know what name I said earlier, but when Trapp was asking his pops about why is he coming to this running back room, and he was like, because of this staff, because of what matters to this staff, and we want him to be a part of that. He wants to, because of being a man and all that. Unbelievable. But Cortland Guillory, 6 foot 180 guy. Malik Hawkins, he's 6'1", 180. You know, these guys are big, tall guys that are going to go out there, and I mean, like we said, they've got great ball skills. They've got great coverage skills. I mean, you watch the film when they're getting their head around, they're making plays on the ball. They're damn sure, playing aggressive and with a lot of physicality, which is what we've needed. Look, the biggest problem with Lincoln Riley football is it's soft. You got to go.
Guys, I'm going to bounce. It's actually starting to hurt me now. So
go to bed, man.
Yeah, feel better, man. Thanks for coming in. We appreciate you.
Hey, great night, Boomer Center. Yes, I love you.
Boomer. All right, yeah, we're only going to go a little bit longer too. So,
yeah, I'm putting together the numbers right now for how many players in the SEC as well as in
on the 300-pound guys. 300-pound guys. Okay.
So Georgia's sitting I know Georgia had the most, and based upon my calculations, at 290 they have like 11 dudes on the defensive line.
Hey, Mom. How's it going, Mom?
That's what you want. Hey, Mom.
We'll catch you another time. Thanks, Eric. Thanks, Coop, for coming in, man. We appreciate you. Steel. How many more got to hit the portal? They can't. The portal's closed.
Yeah, portal's done. Only people that can hit the portal now are grad transfers, and we don't have any grad transfers hit the portal.
But this is where you would either you've got some room to where you can stash them as a PWO. They've got a great PWO program. It doesn't hurt anything. That 120 number is becoming that number that's going to really matter. You have to have the 85 scholarships, but that could change at any time. One of the things that we should probably bring up, and while you're looking up that stuff, you saw today Pete Thamel was talking about it, that they actually had, and I think I just did a screenshot of it, so I want to make sure that I get it right. He says a key new detail in the settlement talks for the House versus NCAA case, which could help form the new structure of college athletics. The cost of the settlement for past damages is expected to be more in that $2.7 billion range to be paid by the NCAA over the next decade. Now they were talking $4 or $5 billion a week ago.
So the damages is over $4 billion, but the NCAA is trying to settle right now at 2.7, so they don't have to pay the full 4, right? Which they're gonna win the settlement. I think they're gonna agree to terms, but
if they don't, they'd have to go to court in January, and you risk losing 10.
Exactly, and the other problem for them too is, and the helpful thing for them to settle now is going ahead and starting the process of figuring out how to do the revenue share, which that's what's about to happen. The collective bargaining is going to happen. You're going to have the players are going to have their own union probably in the next year. And at that point, they're going to be splitting the rev, which I'm here for. Let's go, baby.
I'm here for it.
College football's back, baby. Because, and I put it to you this way, this is the thing that a lot of people don't recognize when it comes to this portion of it. Once you start having to do revenue sharing and you have like the union portion of it, that's when those contracts are going to have to be in there. That's when those buyouts have to be if a kid wants to transfer. So if a kid decides that, you know what, I don't want to be in Oklahoma no more, I'm going to go ahead and transfer to Oregon. Oregon's got to pay Oklahoma a buyout in order to get him out of that contract.
Yeah.
That's what people want. A lot of fans are tired of players being able to just, leave whenever they want to and all of that. Well, now they're going to have to negotiate their ways out of their contracts, in which they'll make sure that there's no ridiculousness in those deals. The contracts will still, most of the contracts will probably be a minimum of 2 years. And then at that point, they'll have the option to be able to transfer or, all that jazz. But what y'all been wanting, you'll be able to get, because the only way that you can help them bind it to a contract like that is it has to be something revenue related. It can't be NIL, because NIL is an endorsement deal. It's like them working with Nike and Boost Mobile. You can't put that via contract, because that should be national.
It was never supposed to be that anyway. That's what
what it is today. The collective
fumbled.
It wasn't supposed to be this way.
It fumbled from the start. It was the best they could come up with in 10 years since the case started with the Ed O'Bannon case. 10 years later, the best they had was, we don't have any rules, NIL.
The beauty of it is that, and people want to regulate that. And it's like, you can't. It's an endorsement deal. It's like, you can't regulate Patrick Mahomes and how much he can make doing State Farm commercials. You can't. It's all fair market. It's whatever the market says. What it allowed was boosters the opportunity to find a way to funnel money to players for, without any restrictions. And I'm going to be honest, I don't mind that. I actually like the fact that boosters are able to funnel money in that type of capacity. Now, I think, to be honest, I would like for them to take away
to get things out from underneath the table, though, Jay.
It does. Exactly what it does. And I would like for them to get rid of the portion of it where fans have to fund in collectives. I want that part to be gone. I don't want fans to fund it. I want boosters to be doing it.
Everything's going to be more expensive. You can bet on it. They're making more money, and it's still going to cost you more. And then now they want you to pay for their players too. No.
Yep.
And this is where it's got it. Look, I've said this 1,000 times, and I'll say it one more time. Not one player, athlete at any school anywhere has made a rule. These rules,
not a single one,
kids, not one. So whatever happens is fine. what I want to see is, I want to see some level of, and I hate the word guardrails, but let's say it, guardrails, to where you don't have. But the best thing is that if we know for a fact, we've heard it from real people at real schools, that USC has promised $2 million to Jordan Addison and gave him $250,000.
Yep.
We know that
You heard about it.
a bunch of those guys at Texas A&M supposedly were getting X amount of dollars and got a tenth of it.
Yep.
We know what happened with Jaden Rashada at Florida.
Yep.
This, if you have it on, everybody knows what the media deal is. It's going to raise with the inflation and everything every year. It always goes up. You're going to know what these guys are going to get. So no matter what, that's above the board. You don't have to ever worry about those guys getting paid. And it's going to be a contract thing. So now you have some level of control over where they go. They can't just up and leave unless they're able to buy out their contract.
Exactly. And that's what I'm here for. I'm here for the
I'm here for that
give
too.
Me that. Give me buyouts and restrictions in that capacity. That makes it more fun.
Robbie, we appreciate
it. It'll be like the Premier League, the Premier League model. You got to pay the other team for that player, and you do it for the kids can pick where they go, and if they decide they don't want to be there no more, they find a way to get their contracts bought out. And I bet you it'll limit a lot of movement. It'll get players to really think about their movement. Because not everybody's going to want to pay for that buyout. You got to choose where you really want to go and someplace you want to stick to.
Well, somebody's going to really need to want your ass too, and they're not just going to be able to tamper anymore either.
Yep.
Because no matter who gets a hold of you, whoever's offering you something, it's just going to take that away. But again, it's not just because I'm worried about kids doing anything on the shady side. They're not the ones that made the rules anyway. The shady people have always been the administrators and the boosters and the coaches. Always.
Yep.
It's been under the table. This is an opportunity for you to bring it out in the open. And in order to, and look, again, this is why I've said earlier that I'm so glad that is not what Brent Venables chose to use as the basis of his recruiting. Boganowski, Mr. Boganowski was on our show last week.
Yeah.
And he said, look, we didn't think about he said, we didn't even think about NIL. We knew that that's going to be a piece of it, but we wanted him to go to the best place. And obviously some people need it more than others. And I understand that.
Yep.
But if you're not recruiting on something else, you have a house on a paper foundation.
You're right.
Listen to what was going on at A&M. I think Mike Elko was the best thing they could have done for that school because he's going to play it differently. He's not a used car salesman like Jimbo was.
Yeah.
Thank you, Robbie, for coming in. I think they're going to do better with that, but it is what it is.
I agree.
Yeah. Did y'all find out who that clown was that just came in here? Was he a Texas guy? He had to have been a Texas guy talking shit. I love it. Just love it.
They're bored. They're hurt. It's funny. I saw one dude tweet out. He's like, "Man, we actually got stuffed." And I was like,
Into
"Respect,
a locker.
dog. You get mad. You get mad respect for me for admitting it."
Shoved all three of their asses in the locker.
Yep.
That's what happens. It's just what happens. I love it. All right. What's your count? What's your count here, brother?
Oh man, I'm still going through all these rosters.
Really?
And I'll say this:
All right,
we're at 7. We're at 7. Georgia's 9. I think they're the highest, but we're up there in the 7 range with Tennessee, us, Texas, and Tennessee and LSU are sitting around the 7 range. So South Carolina's 8, Alabama's 6. We've moved up the charts.
South Carolina's done a good job in the portal and recruiting this year. To be honest with you,
that's something I gotta give him props for.
As much as I'm not a huge Beamer guy. I think he's kind of clownish, but the guys they're recruiting well.
I agree.
Yeah, they're recruiting well. Okay, I'm gonna go through some of this. Now I sent you that earlier I'm trying to get this guy to come on our show from the Patreon. We talked about him a little bit earlier. I sent you that deal.
Yeah.
But what did you think about that?
Thought it was cool. I thought it was a cool model. I 100% vehemently disagree with a lot of it, but I get where the model's coming from.
Right, and I think that not everything, no model works all the time. I mean,
Exactly. I mean, 100%.
When it comes to models, I mean, every time that Josh Pate puts his model out there, he gets dunked on. But Adam McClintock, they've been doing this for now, I think it's 7 years. He's got a nice look. What I do like is that he lets you know how far he was off in the last 5. When it comes to the better teams, I mean, he's done a little bit better, but I mean, the worst he's been off on Alabama on their actual record was by 2 games.
Right.
It's usually by 1. Arkansas, look, there's 2, 3, and 7. There was 3 is the worst. Well, there's a 5. 2021 was tough for them, but the other ones are all within 2 of themselves. Now, I also like this other thing. You've got your team power ratings. Oklahoma is basically tied with Ole Miss right now at 80.558. That's his index number on that. That's only 2 points, or it's 1 point off of what LSU's at number 4, and about 2.5 points, or just 2 points off of Alabama. Texas is another 2 points up. Georgia's way ahead. I think that's what you're seeing there. But roster talent wise, Bama is still number 1 according to them on roster talent. Georgia, then LSU, Texas, Oklahoma. A&M is still right up there at the top as well. So that makes sense in my mind with the way they've been recruiting. Home field advantage. Oklahoma comes in at number 3, 90.48% on a 6-year win percentage. That doesn't have everything to do with it because Alabama's number 1, mostly because of attendance. LSU comes in at 4, Texas A&M at 5. Texas comes in at 6 for a home field advantage, which I don't disagree with. Projected conference standings. They still got Georgia, LSU. They've got Georgia and LSU coming in at 1-1. I don't necessarily agree that LSU is going to go undefeated either. I don't see how. Texas they've got coming in at 3. Then it's Ole Miss, Missouri, Bama, Tennessee, and Oklahoma, all coming in at 9-3. Now I kind of feel like they're all playing each other, so I have a hard time believing that they're all going to be 9-3 out of those schools. But for the sake of argument, because of the strength of schedule, if that happens, and we've played those guys, Oklahoma goes to the top. It would be at 9-3 in the playoff, I think. This will obviously change once the season pops up and he'll start moving in the portal stuff as well. Returning production, Oklahoma's right in the middle at number 9 overall. It's not very far off of even number 2 though. It's 61.4%. It's going to actually jump up with the guys that they just brought in, right? So that'll jump again. So it may be right now they're like right in the middle, but by 1 percentage point or whatever.
Right. Like it's not too far off, but yeah.
Alabama's 15th in the country, or 15th out of 16 at 44%. That's a big difference.
That's a huge drop, and I don't believe it, but that's a huge drop.
Huge drop. Strength of schedule: Florida, Alabama, Mississippi State, Georgia, Kentucky, South Carolina, Oklahoma. I'm not sure I believe that one. I think the non-con may play a lot into that. But according to the national folks, Oklahoma is the number 2 strength of schedule of the country.
Yep. Right behind Florida.
So I'm not sure I understand that. I'm trying to get this guy to come on. His name is Adam McClintock. But anyway, if you look at Oklahoma's, Texas is their ceiling is 11-1. That's what he's got him projected at. Oklahoma's ceiling is 12-0 on this deal. Did you notice that?
I did. I think this Dominic Williams pickup changes a lot of things. Because our biggest question was offense and defensive line. This defensive line pickup is huge. It may change a lot.
And I think
especially him and Lole.
Yeah. Both of these.
Actually.
And this came out before the spring games. It wasn't a situation.
Oh, yeah. So you don't have Hickman. You don't have Lole. You don't have Dominic Williams. Yeah. All that's about to change.
Even still, all of this, what I was getting at is, and I mean, we can get into all of it later. We've been on for so long, and we're not going to get enough into it. What we'll do is maybe on Tuesday, we can go through all of the entire SEC and just kind of show, because he's got predictions obviously for the entire season.
That'd be good.
And I'm trying to maybe we can get him on to kind of talk about it. I like advanced metrics anyways. So I'm excited to kind of talk to him about some of that stuff anyway. I believe that there's a possibility that they could do that. Now, what you do have, I mean, I would just go over Oklahoma's real quick again to show you where, okay, let me start with Mizzou, though. They've got a 19-point spread against Vandy in their first conference game. They're favored to lose. I would pick them to lose that game at A&M in game 2. Auburn is at home. They're favored by 3. There's their toss-up game. A&M's also a toss-up game according to them. And then the OU game, they're favored to lose even though it's at home, but it's a 1.5 point advantage. So it's another toss-up. I tend to believe that some of his spreads I'm not too sure about, but I think that 9-3 is the projected record. That they can only get to 11-1 on ceiling according to their numbers, right? He's been pretty close on his record with them. They definitely outperformed it last year. They're within 2, within 3, and dead on the years prior to that. Yeah, I don't know. I'm still, for all you Mizzou fans in here, I'm just going to say, when you do it a second time, I'll think it matters, because your 6 wins in the SEC came against guys with a combined record of 14-34 in the conference and 32-42 overall. Mm-hmm. It's not like you went over there and knocked out the Debo at the freaking party. You didn't. So we'll see. And now you get Oklahoma pissed off because of the tornado talk the other day. Good luck with that.
Oh yeah.
Good luck with that. Oklahoma is only favored to lose. They're favored to lose 3, but they're all toss-up games. They actually have 6 toss-up games: LSU, Alabama, Mizzou, Ole Miss, Texas, Auburn. I understand all of those, but I mean 9-3, that they're expecting maybe they go 3-3 in toss-ups. We'll see. You know what I mean?
I agree with you there.
I like where they're at. Texas, he likes Texas more, or his model likes Texas, kind of like Josh Pates does.
Yeah, and I get why Pates does. I mean, it makes sense. There's logic behind it.
Everybody likes Texas except for us.
Right, and we all know that Texas is going to show us exactly who they always are, the team that always underachieves. It's a tradition as old as the game itself. Victory come. They always do. We love it.
Stat guy.
On, keep being terrible.
Oh, stat guy coming in. Stat guy coming in with, I knew it. First thing out of his mouth. We already know September 21's a loss. Well, according to that would be South Carolina. Stat guy.
To who?
South Carolina. Bro, that's a 17-point spread according to the professor for OU.
Come on, OU's going to beat the dog out of South Carolina. Beamer's coming back to Oklahoma, guys. Keep that in mind.
And I tell you what, though, I watched you guys in the spring game. I like that freshman quarterback, or that young quarterback, first-year guy. He looks good. Norris Sellers, He looks good. He's going to be good. He did a pretty good job in the portal, too. I got to give him props for that. They got big on the line. They added to. You said that they were the only other team that had more. 300 counters? We're one of the only teams that have.
They're 8th, so they're third. So you've got Georgia and Florida are tied for first with 9. Okay. South Carolina's third with 8. Okay. Tennessee, Texas, Oklahoma, and LSU and Mississippi State are all tied for 4th.
Okay.
At 7. So Oklahoma jumped up from the bottom where Auburn was at 2 with them to 7, to tied for 4th in the SEC with big boys. Can't beat that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Ryan, let's also not forget Mizzou last year's SEC was also the worst we've seen over a decade. Yeah, guys, you got to make sure you have some context, and I'm going to have to side with Richard here. They won 85% of their non-conference games. Yes, correct. It's easy to say because, and this is the problem that is going to happen in the Big 12. Wait and see. They are going to eat each other alive, cannibalize themselves in the Big 12, and nobody's going to think they're good either. And I don't know that that's necessarily going to be the case. I think the money thing is going to be a problem. The SEC is the best league in America, period. And it just got better.
True. I agree.
It just got better, man.
I agree. All right.
I mean, some of them, this is stink ass cat ain't necessarily wrong here either. Some of your non-con opponents, you better win 85% of those.
I mean, that's the SEC game, baby.
Yeah. Oh, this game's going to be fire. Hey, man, I can't wait for that one too. So, are you which game are you going to, Jay? Which game are you going to? On the road. Are you going to a couple or at least one?
I'm gonna try to. I'm going to LSU. I'll definitely be at Death Valley. I'm gonna figure. So I have hotels booked in Montgomery for the Auburn game and for Ole Miss, and around actually closer to Memphis, but not too far from Oxford. I just have to decide if I'm gonna go. I think I want to go to Auburn and LSU. I think those are 2 games I actually want to go to. I really don't care much about Missouri. I don't really want to go back to Columbia. I've been there before. It's not someplace I want to go back to.
Shit they've been talking that makes you kind of want to go, but honestly, I've been there. It's not the greatest.
I don't want to be around.
I want to go to the Grove. I want to go to the Grove and LSU. I'd like to go to all of them, but I definitely want to make it to the Grove and LSU this year if I can. That's definitely, one of them deals you want to. Yeah, even Stat says you got to go to the Grove.
Yeah, that's where I want to go. I want to go to the Grove. I got to figure it out. But Auburn and LSU are the 2 I'm definitely going to go to. Schedule-wise, they're perfect. I'm trying to figure out how to make the Grove happen.
Me too. We'll figure it out, Jay. We'll figure it out. SEC Media Days, we're working at that still. I've got a couple of things. We're working it still. I think we're going to be at SEC Media Days, Jay and I. That'll be fun. Stat, hey, man, he's just busting chops. This is what Stat does, Mars. Leave him alone. It's Stat guy. This is what he does. It wouldn't be him if he wasn't talking shit. And he'll be there for the South Carolina game. I'll definitely be at that home game. Got to be at game 1 against Josh and Tennessee. Well, I should be living there by then anyways, but so I should be at most of them. So he was in the Big 12. Yeah, we're not talking about the Big 12. Going to every game in 24. Are you Boomer 129? You got some loot, huh?
I'm gonna try
to loot, huh? Definitely got to go to the. Hey, we got to make the Red River game too this year. That's good.
I won't make Red River this year.
No.
No, I have to work. I planned on going. I'm debating if I'm trying to figure out. Well, let me put it this way: I have tickets for Red River. I don't know if I'm gonna make it or not. I gotta wait to find out at work when I need to actually fly out for our conference. If I don't have to fly out, if I don't have to be there till Sunday, I'm going to the game and flying out Saturday night. Cool. If I have to be at the game, if I have to be there early, which I'm anticipating I got to go in Thursday, I'll just be watching it from Vegas.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that either.
I mean, it's not a negative, right? It's not negative with it. It's just I wanted to be in the stadium for it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. At least, but hey, hopefully all the grasshoppers are gone. The last time I went, it drove me nuts. I couldn't stand that. Nasty. It wore me out.
It was a great game. I had a blast this past year, though.
A lot of fun. Well, so the last one I went to was the Lincoln's last year, Caleb Williams deal, and I was ready to leave until the comeback started.
Shout out to Caleb. Gotta give him props.
Shout out to Caleb Williams.
Ooh, he was on it.
I know a lot of people are mad at Caleb Williams. Don't be mad at Caleb Williams. All right. Anything else you want to add to this right now? You got some more stats you want to throw up, or should we throw anything else up there?
No, I'm good. I'm
I
actually.
think we'll dive into some of that maybe Tuesday. What do you think? You want to jump on Tuesday?
Yeah, I should be able to work. I think I should be around Tuesday. I don't.
If not, we can do
week.
Thursday. If not, we can do it next Thursday for the SEC show again. We'll just do it about that. When this happened, if this would have worked itself out at 3:00 like I thought it would have, then we wouldn't have had to
been a lot easier, a lot smoother for me. I'll say that.
We'll figure it out, but lots of stuff to do. Maybe we can get McClintock on with us as well. Stat Guide, love to have you for that one. PG, if you want to jump in as well for No Cap SEC next week, we get a good panel going and we'll talk about what we're seeing there. I really like this model though. I think it looks pretty good and it'll be a lot of fun. Folks, if you haven't already hit that like button, I'm going to take a look here. We have had 780 people in the stream since we started it, and we have a total of 70 likes. That's 10%, guys. Not even 10%. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Share us with your friends. If you're not already a subscriber, become a subscriber. It's free.
Yeah, it's true.
It's all free. If you want to pay some money, you should save some money on trymintmobile.com/HOF. Get unlimited talk, text, and data on the nation's largest 5G network for just $45 for the first 3 months. That's $15 a month. I was paying $200. After that 3 months, I'm going to be paying for 2 phones, a total of $60.
Nice. That's a dub.
$140 savings a month. If you don't at least try it out, and you can try it out while keeping your big wireless carrier, because it's an eSIM card, it will be a secondary line for those first 3 months unless you cancel big wireless service. Try it out on your phone. See if you like it. $45. You help the program. You can help your pocketbook. Check out our official show merchandise at hofmedia.us/pod-merch. And for you golfers out there, jump onto our Mailreg store, mailreg.com/JW_HOF. Get amazing, stylish golf gear, comfortable, stretch fit, moisture wicking, and UP or SPF 30 protection for about 60% off of what you would pay at a golf shop. Again, the freeway, hit the freaking like button, subscribe, help us out. We appreciate it. Make sure you get over to Unfair Sports and the Sooner or Later channel as well. For Jay, tell them where to find you on Twitter and everywhere else that you're at.
You're going to find me, Unfair Sports. Search for that wherever on YouTube, as well as wherever podcasts to download and listen to. I'll see y'all on the next time I'm on.
Guys, we appreciate you coming in. Always, man, I appreciate everybody that comes in. And this show, would we not still be doing it? I know all of us, we do it for you guys. We love making content for you guys. Thanks a lot for supporting us. We will see you on the next one.